Hello, my name is Angel Rosales, and my uh, strategy for reading that I will be using will be the SQ3R. So the SQ3R stands for Survey, Question, Read, Recite, Review, hence the three R's. This is a method process that goes from step 1 to step 5 in that order when reading your readings. Now, this reading strategy is meant for difficult textbook material that could be lengthy, or it could just mean that the textbook material is quite in depth and concise with a lot of material. This is very time consuming, but it is very effective. And these steps are meant to be performed on reading each headings through sections. Hence, it is very effective through that because you gain as much knowledge and you are very engaged with the reading. So the SQ3R helps with engaging readers with the reading. So McDaniel states that note-taking enhances learning by stimulating active processing, which this reading helps you really engage and be able to learn through very difficult readings. Blercom also presents an advantage of the SQ3R reading, being that it helps break reading tasks down into smaller chunks, which helps in motivation and critical thinking. So a lack of motivation may be due to looking at a very lengthy reading and not really wanting to get started or completing it. And then the critical thinking helps by being able to really engage with the reading, be really being able to process and being able to follow through with the reading, understanding the main arguments, the main ideas that the author's trying to present. So later on, you can tie those with your own analysis, being able to break down each step into your own type of chunks, which is a similar way that it really helps tie motivation and critical thinking with this SQ3R reading. Duckworth values the image of self-control in students having a tie to academic achievement, which this SQ3R reading would increase academic achievement because, like mentioned before, this has helped getting complicated readings done, whereas someone who doesn't use SQ3R reading wouldn't benefit as much, as this helps students actually not only start the readings, but also complete them, which is a form of self-control because many times us as students, we would not really finish the whole reading or just skim through it. But the SQ3R reading strategy really helps you stay focused, helps you read through the headings and present and be able to be presented by the facts that the reading is trying to argue and trying to present to you. Now, I have applied this reading through an Education 41 critical readings essay, which required 3 to 4 readings of use. Now, the first time I tried this essay, I didn't really get the score that I wanted. I got a 178 out of 200 because my analysis wasn't very critical. It wasn't very engaging with my paper. But that was the first time I didn't really know about this SQ3R reading. Now that I knew about it, I tried it with the second essay and I ended up getting the one place where I lacked all my points. I ended up bringing it up to score a perfect score. And I used the SQ3R reading because on my second paper, I was able to be really fulfilled and engaged with my readings. I was able to acknowledge the arguments. I was able to interpret the arguments with my own thoughts and able to fulfill that into a paper that really showed that I understood what the main concepts of the authors were trying to say. I did this by scanning the text. I questioned the text, making my own questions, and I read actively by writing questions that later on I can go back to the text and be able to answer. Also by reviewing all the notes that I made. And if there was any difficult concept that I wasn't able to interpret right away, I went back and reread it to make sure that I understood. Now, the outcome helped in this tutorial by being actively engaged in the readings and able to encode as much information as possible. Not only was I able to do this into my own words, but also make connections between readings that made it an advantage for me. I also helped achieve the study goal to be able to encode information from my critical reading essay by being able to be more motivated and being able to be a stronger critical thinker and analyzing these theories. I also helped achieve the learning goals. I was able to stay motivated and focused. Now, I adapted through this because it is a very time consuming reading strategy and there is a lot of time management focus on college students. So for example, a student that has 340-page readings due in 2 days would be best if the reading strategy is managed timely by spending certain time periods on each reading. So typically students that have very long and concise readings, they would benefit more if they were able to do this in sort of a time management way where they focused on each reading at a specific time. Also, if this reading was also to be associated earlier rather than later in your academic uh, career, that would also help because you would be able to familiarize and associate this strategy to know when to actually use for the readings and to know to adapt to it, to be able to know, okay, this is going to take me at least an hour with this type of strategy. That way you could understand your time a lot quicker. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you.